presentation of Fox Sports.
We are Fox Sports. We are St. Louis.
This is St. Louis Cardinals baseball from the Valley of the Sun, Phoenix, Arizona, and Chase Field. It's the St. Louis Cardinals and the Arizona Diamondbacks on Fox Sports Midwest. Aledmys Diaz swinging one of the hottest bats in all of baseball. 3 more hits yesterday against the San Diego Padres, and what a series he had as he went 8 for 10. Aledmys Diaz is in the lineup tonight. He'll bat 8th. He'll play shortstop. He's also our Kia in the driver's seat. Diaz, one of the hottest in the big leagues right now. And with Tim McCarver and Jim Hayes, I'm Dan McLaughlin. Welcome to St. Louis Cardinals baseball. And Tim, we've got a great matchup here tonight. Jaime Garcia and Zack Greinke.
Against 2 red-hot hitting ball clubs, the Diamondbacks scored 10 runs yesterday. The Cardinals scored 8. So they'll be tested tonight. Probably the best pitching matchup we've had all year.
So it is Zack Greinke. It is Jaime Garcia. It's the Arizona Diamondbacks. It's the St. Louis Cardinals. Game 1 of 4 here from the desert. First pitch, starting lineups comes your way next on Fox Sports Midwest. and the Diamondbacks. Let's take a look at Tim McCarver's Toyota keys to the game.
Arguably the best pitching matchup this year, and whoever breaks through first, 3 runs might be enough.
Zack Greinke will get the call for the Arizona Diamondbacks, and leading things off when we come back, it'll be Matt Carpenter. Carpenter and the Cardinals against Greinke and the Diamondbacks. First pitch next. Jim Hayes, Tim McCarver, Dan McLaughlin with you. Roof is closed here at Chase Field in Phoenix, Arizona. What has been a very windy day in this area. And the first pitch to Matt Carpenter is taken for a ball, and we are underway with Zack Greinke, the big offseason signing by the Diamondbacks, delivering our first pitch. He has struggled here at home so far. 0-2 ERA that's close to 9. His last start, very good. 2-1 win over San Francisco as he pitched into the 7th. And there's a strike to even it up at 1 ball, 1 strike.
Dan, regardless of how experienced you are, if you're one of 4 pitchers to make $200 million, you're going to have some tough times in your early starts at home. And I think that's exactly what's happened to Greinke, but it's not going to happen for long. So you got to be glad you're facing him in a downward spiral.
Here's a 1-1 pitch, and that's pulled foul. Carpenter had a key triple in the Cardinals win yesterday against San Diego. Picked up the game-winning RBI. Hit that down the right field line. Big gap in right center field. These two teams are 1-2 in home runs in the National League.
The minute you said that, Chris Owings, the center fielder, moved about 10 steps to his left.
And a ground ball that's tapped foul. The shift on here for Carpenter. Said it before, Tim. I'm not so sure that Matt Carpenter's the guy that, and I understand what the numbers would tell you. Ground ball, he's going to pull it to the right side. But the way that he sprays the ball, even at times with the ground ball, I'm not sure the shift is the right play with Matt Carpenter.
Well, if you're going to shift against him, I think your third baseman's got to be more up the middle and take that hit away from him. The ground ball up the middle, he's very proficient at that.
1-2 pitch, and he waves at it. Just got a piece to stay alive. Not much of a crowd tonight. We can hear Greinke grunting with every pitch. As Tim said, it was a huge deal that he signed in the offseason. He'll make close to $35 million annually in this contract.
It's $1 million a game, $1 million a start. 35 starts, $35 million. Not bad.
All your years in baseball, do you ever think you'd see this?
It's a good question, and the answer is no, I didn't.
It's incredible.
Not when you make $9,000 your first year.
Yeah, that
I did in 1963, my first full year, swimming in money, pal.
A base hit into right as Carpenter went down to get it. And the leadoff man is on. The Cardinals lineup here tonight with Carpenter, Piscotty, and Holiday in the first. Then Brandon Moss batting cleanup. Randall Grichuk, Yadier Molina, Jed Jerko. Great series over the weekend. Aledmys Diaz, the talk of baseball, the way he's swinging the bat. And the pitcher batting ninth, Jaime Garcia.
Cardinals at that time, it's kind of fun to talk about. The Cardinals at that time, the traveling secretary was Leo Ward. And we got $8 a day meal money. And if we had a steak on the plane, $4 was deducted from the meal money. So we got the night that we traveled and had a filet on the plane, we got $4, not $8.
Things have changed just a little bit.
They've changed a bit, yes.
That's unbelievable. Here's Stephen Piscotty. He was 0 for 5 yesterday with 3 strikeouts. He's batting .250, 3 home runs. He's driven in 9. And there's a strike to even it up.
That, by the way, was a tidy piece of hitting by Carpenter on that changeup. Way out in front, looped it down the right field line.
Carpenter not much of a threat to steal. Wellington Castillo, the former Cub, is behind the plate. He's been doing some damage with his bat as of late. That's fouled back. I think it's going to be interesting to see the kind of year that Piscotty has in terms of a full season at this level. How you deal with the struggles of the major leagues, because last year you didn't see a lot of dips in his game.
National League pitchers have already gotten away from that low fastball trying to get him out. He's a good low ball hitter. Likes the ball away from him.
The 1-2 pitch taken inside, 2-2. What we've seen is that if he has a 0 for 8, 0 for 10, he quickly is able to make that adjustment and get himself right. Very good. The Cardinals talk about that, in particular John Mabry, the Cardinals hitting coach, his ability to make adjustments on the fly.
That prevents the free fall.
Could be 2, backing up Ahmed, and the turn not in time. Nick Ahmed is as slick a fielder you'll find, the shortstop for the Diamondbacks. Dobbs Tire and Auto Center's defense for Arizona tonight. Yasmani Tomas in left. Owings, he can run. He's in center. David Peralta, former Cardinal pitcher in their minor leagues, is in right. Drury, Ahmed, Segura, Goldschmidt along the infield, and Castillo behind the plate. Again, that's brought to you by Dobbs.
The high chopper, you're usually not going to turn a double play on a ball like that. Piscotty runs well, but Carpenter just making sure that Segura is delayed in getting rid of that ball.
And Gene is now playing at second base for the Diamondbacks, and we saw him for a couple of years in Milwaukee at short. Really a historic year, and what a time to do it for Zach Greinke to be a free agent. But last year with the Dodgers, a 1.66 ERA in 32 starts. That was his second ERA title in his career. And the 1-0 is a high fly ball lifted out to deep right. Peralta is back at the wall, and it's off the wall. Piscotty on his way to third. He'll be waved in, and Holiday trotting in safely to third. It's 1-0 Cardinals. The first triple of the season for Matt Holliday drives in Piscotty. 1-0 St. Louis.
Dan, while you were in San Diego yesterday, I was here in Arizona, and I saw that Pittsburgh-Arizona game won by the Pirates in 13 innings, 12-10. And I also saw Paul Goldschmidt hit 2 balls out in right field, and I don't think any other ball club or any other ballpark in the National League, they would have been home runs in. But the ball is really carrying to right field. Great base running by Biscotti, going to the bag and now looking toward third. Actually, you keep the bag right in front of you. Know where the bag is, just in case that ball caroms toward the infield, and it did. A triple for Matt Holliday.
Here's Brandon Moss. And if Holliday was running a little bit better, still not quite back to the speed that we saw a year ago prior to the injuries, that might be, with a different runner, an inside the ballpark home run.
That ball rolled about halfway back to the infield.
Moss is struggling. 1 for his last 18 with 8 strikeouts. Infield is drawn in. What they say here at this ballpark, when the roof is closed and they open up the paneling in right center and left center, the ball just shoots to the gap. That's what we have here tonight. The 1-1 pitch. Little chopper hit up the middle. No play for Segura. That'll bring in Matt Holliday. Off with contact, and it's 2-0 Cardinals.
Well, that is a great read by Holliday. And that's normally you're not going to score on a ball like that with the infield in, especially a guy like Holliday who's not a fast runner. Watch how quickly he reads this from the right foot, the pivot on that. Segura looked toward home, but the Cardinals with a cheap run right here. Now Moss is going to get credit for an RBI, but all RBIs are not created equal.
Right.
You know, really the guy who deserves that RBI is Matt Holliday.
And now it's Randal Grichuk. And Grichuk with a high fly ball sent down the right field line, slicing foul and out of play. Starting to swing the bat a little bit better. 3 for 5 yesterday with 3 RBIs. Interesting, you don't always see it, but first inning an infield drawn in. And with Garcia on the mound, maybe Chip Hale is thinking that runs are at a premium tonight and Zach Greinke can get out of this.
And Mike Matheny thinking the same thing. Runs are going to be in a premium from Greinke, so why not send the runner? So good pitching changes the way managers think. That's the point.
1 ball, 1 strike on Randal Grichuk. Outfield is deep.
So frustrating for a pitcher. You have the infield drawn in, everything in your favor. Any ground ball, there's no way he's going to score. But the batter, Brandon Moss, didn't hit it hard enough. So you want him to hit it hard, but not too hard. And at an infielder and not between them.
And if you're thinking about Moss, you know, probably 8 times out of 10, if he puts the ball in play, it's going to be hit hard. Now, he strikes out a lot, but when he connects,
that's right.
It's a hard hit ball. 2-2 the count on Randal Grichuk. The RBI for Moss was number 11. That's hit the other way, slicing down the line, and this ball is off the base of the wall. Grichuk to second, and he can run on his way to third. The Cardinals with 2 first-inning triples against Zach Greinke.
When is the last time you've seen 2 triples in 1 inning by the Cardinals? Been a long time.
When's the last time Greinke gave up 2 triples in 1 inning?
Yeah, right. As Dan said, he has struggled here during his first 2 starts in Arizona.
I think, though, Tim, the point that you brought up is spot on. You know, you signed for that kind of money. The expectations are so high, and the pressure is so high, too.
Yes, it is. No excuses for him. It's just the way things are. I don't care who you are or how much experience or how much success you've had. Obviously, you've had to have been successful to get a contract like that. But the pressures are riding with it.
The 1-0 is hit in the air. Will it get out of play? Near the stands in right, and David Peralta in foul territory makes the catch. The Cardinals strike first. The RBIs for Holliday and Moss. 2-0 St. Louis. in the first inning. And a look at Chip Hale's lineup. His second year at the helm of the Diamondbacks. Gene Segura, Brandon Drury, and Paul Goldschmidt. Yasmani Tomas, Wellington Castillo, David Peralta, Chris Owings, the pitcher, batting 8th. That's Zach Greinke. By the way, he's 4 for 8 with an RBI. And Nick Ahmed, the shortstop, is batting 9th. And on the mound for the Cardinals, it is Jaime Garcia. He has never lost against the Arizona Diamondbacks. He's 5-0 against this team from the West.
And 3-0 in this ballpark. 2 starts ago, he pitched the best game of his career. A one-hitter against Milwaukee. And then he lost to the Cubs 2-1. So he has really pitched well all 3 starts. Tough Chicago Cub team that is, of course, out of the chute in a hurry.
Are they good?
Oh, man. They're pitching.
Tim, they haven't even hit yet.
I know.
And yet they're off to this great start. It has been their lineup that struggled. Their starting pitching's been terrific. Bullpen's been very good. Here's Gene Segura. Off to a very good start. 28 hits. 3rd most hits through the team's first 20 games in the history of the Diamondbacks. Matt Williams, who's back as a third base coach, had 31 back in 1999. Off the glove of Carpenter and falls down.
Oh, boy. You hope he didn't twist an ankle in the process or a right knee. Like Chris or Matt slipped on that dirt. You can see the skid marks back there. Those are unusual marks for an infielder trying to get his tread early in a ball game. Going from the grass to the dirt. Sometimes that dirt's a little loose. Probably going to be an error, but could be scored a base hit.
They have initially scored it a base hit. Just wonder if the cleats got stuck, as you said, Tim, whether it be the dirt or the grass, but got stuck in there as he went after that baseball, and looks like he may come out. No, he's going to stay in.
I think initially Matt was trying to get a toe hold on the grass, but no, it was all the way. Both feet slipped. Or would that be punishment if the Cardinals lost Matt Carpenter?
Don't want to think about that.
No, no.
I'm sure Carpenter would tell you that's a ball he should have had. It's a base hit, and now Brandon Drury. And Drury taps it foul, and I watched Carpenter there just even going towards that baseball that was pulled foul and was limping. Drury was called up for 20 games last year with Arizona. Hit .214 with a couple of home runs. Could be a double play ball. Out at second, the turn, and it's a double play. 6-4-3. Diaz, Jerko to Moss.
Pardon me, Dan. Good turn by Jerko. Had a tough time with an error yesterday. Booed in San Diego. But that was a nice pivot right there. Good feed from Diaz. What's a good feed? A good feed's a feed right around the letters. See where that ball is? Easy for Jerko to handle. Made the transfer. 6-4-3.
The Cardinals have 19 errors this year, with 17 coming on the infield. Most in baseball. Here's Paul Goldschmidt. Homered twice yesterday, as Tim mentioned, and in the last 8 games hitting .345. Teams just really aren't pitching all that much to him. He has 18 walks, and Tim, he's walking 20% of the time.
Yeah, that's the most, by the way, in the National League, those 18 walks.
Twice has finished second in the MVP 2 years ago and again last season. The 2-0 pitch.
He's got to be protected by the hitters behind him. Yasmani Tomas having a pretty good year, pretty good start. But Goldschmidt needs someone almost as good as him hitting behind him.
Makes me think of when the Cardinals went out and got Holiday. And for the most part, it was the first protection that Pujols had in 5 or 6 years. And the idea was those two would be your big boppers in the middle of the lineup, and one could protect the other.
And they did.
Yes, they did. The 2-2 pitch. It's one of those oddities, but Jaime Garcia is much better at home in terms of his ERA than he is on the road. In his career, his home ERA is below 3. It's above 4 on the road. 3-2 pitch. Way outside, and there's walk number 19 to Paul Goldschmidt. So the Cardinals defense presented by Dobbs Tire and Auto Centers. Holiday in left. Grichuk in center. Piscotty is in right. Carpenter, Diaz, Jerko, and Moss along the infield. And Yadier Molina is behind the plate.
You know, the stat sheets filter through the clubhouses in Major League clubhouses. And the one stat that I think catchers and pitchers should be aware of is on-base percentage. Walks compared to strikeouts. Last year, Tomas walked 17 times. He struck out 110 times.
Runner goes. Chance for Molina from his knees. The tag is there. What a throw. Yadier Molina. He gets Goldschmidt. Guns him down from his knees. Now they will review this, it looks like, as Chip Hale will get the word from his bench. But what a remarkable throw again by Molina.
Gosh. I mean, you know, for all the catchers who have tried to throw runners out standing on their feet.
He's out.
Looked out to me. That's not evidence that Paul Goldschmidt was not out.
Wow.
I think what a play by Molina. Unbelievable.
Six for 10 against his former team over the weekend. A couple of home runs. Gets the start at second base tonight. And a pitch in the dirt. The Hyundai pitch arsenal for Zach Greinke. Velocity has been a tick or two down, but he mixes in the fastball, slider, change, and curve.
Yeah, it's rarely the velocity that that hurts a guy like Greinke. Normally it's staying ahead, breaking balls behind in the count, as that slider was. But kind of atonement for Jerko. Huh? Two good plays to turn on the double play. The short hop on the fine throw by Molina to hang in there.
Cardinals brought him in to supply a little power off the bench when he would get a start. Maybe spell Wong or Carpenter, even at shortstop with Peralta when healthy. And he's had 4 home runs and 38 at bats so far this year. One ball and 2 strikes. Two and 2. I think something to keep an eye on throughout our ball game tonight will be just watching Matt Carpenter and see how he's moving, especially in the next at bat.
Very good point, and valid too. You're right.
The 2-2 pitch. Jerko pulls it foul. Jerko's been a part of a bench that's been remarkable here for the St. Louis Cardinals, and Carpenter keeps stretching over there. But how about this bench? The pinch hitters, 15 for 37 with 7 home runs. That continued over the weekend. And a strikeout, the first of the night for Zach Greinke.
And that was the best pitch that Greinke has thrown, that cutting fastball. And that's what he featured last year quite a bit. Look at this 5-some. Bob Gibson, 1.12. They lowered the mound in 1969 as a result. Then Tiant after Gooden. Then Greinke, 4th best. That's some dandy pitching. 4th best since 1965.
Well, you caught Bob Gibson. You faced Sandy Koufax and Tiant. I'll ask you about Gibson. In that year, really, and I know you've been asked this before, but what was it about it that made it so special besides the numbers?
His control.
Impeccable.
Outside part of the plate against right-handed batters.
Little chopper hit up the middle. Segura backhands, and it's another hit for Aledmys Diaz. His 25th hit of the month.
It's insane. It's unbelievable.
You're living with the errors, and he's committed some errors in the field of routine plays. But
keep hitting like this.
Yeah.
You can do anything you want.
Exactly. That's the point.
9 hits in his last 11 at bats. I asked Aledmys before the game if he had played against Yasmani Tomas, and he said yes, he did. As a matter of fact, they went out several times. Both played with the Industriales, the team in Cuba, in Havana, best team in Cuba. Aledmys is very proficient with English, speaks it very well. Just an all in all, I think Matheny's doing the right thing. Here he is hitting gangbusters, and Mike's keeping him in the 8-hole. I think you ought to do that the majority of the first half of the season.
I was going to ask you about that. When you have a hot hitter like this, but a young player, first month in the big leagues.
I think youth wins out.
Garcia, good bunt. Greinke will barehand, throws to Segura, covering the bag at first, and that puts Aledmys Diaz in scoring position, and he's not right all of a sudden.
Threw a lollipop to first base with Segura covering. Didn't look like he had control of the ball.
Take a look here at Diaz. He got up shaking his elbow.
That's putting that left elbow on the ground. There are ways to do that where you can slide straight in without using the hand for support. That stand-up slide is something you don't see a lot of anymore. And the Diamondbacks can tell you a lot about that because of A.J. Pollock, who broke his elbow going in head first last game in spring training.
It's a huge loss for their team. Last year, Pollock hit .315, scored over 100 runs, and had 39 stolen bases.
And a Gold Glove winner.
Yep.
Man.
It's a big loss. They had traded Ender Inciarte, part of the big deal with the Atlanta Braves, to bring in tomorrow night's starter Shelby Miller. 1 ball, 1 strike. So here's a look at A.J. Pollock and what Tim was talking about.
Not only spring training, but head first into a catcher. I'm telling you, catchers love it. They love it because they've been beaten around all their career. They've been guys hammering in with those big thighs of theirs, and they love little fingers coming in. Are you kidding? Fingers tartar.
Just put it on a platter, right?
Put it on a platter, baby. But I mean, guys, it's just suicidal. These guys diving into bases head first. Bryce Harper lost a couple of years ago. Last year's MVP for Washington.
D. Gordon, the batting champion,
broke his thumb going into first.
Carpenter hits it sharply, 2 hops. Shortstop playing on the second base side. Carpenter not limping down the line. That's good to see. Diaz another hit, left stranded. Midway through 2. Birds on top.
Fans, it's time for a game.
The lead as we move to the bottom of the second, and we check in with Jim Hayes. Jimmy.
Dan, the flu bug is still buzzing around the Cardinals a little bit. A couple of guys still dealing with some issues. One of those guys, Kevin Segras. Segras told me he was dealing with some pretty nasty stomach issues, felt like all his energy had been sapped. But he told Mike Matheny he could pitch yesterday, and he went out and he threw a 1-2-3 7th with 2 strikeouts. Said it wasn't easy. He told me he got out of breath just running to the mound, but he said he still felt like he could get guys out. Colton Wong, another Cardinal, dealing with flu issues. Mike Matheny telling me the way Jed Jerko was swinging the bat in San Diego, they probably would have put Jerko in there tonight anyway, Dan.
All right, thank you, Jimmy. And Segras came in to face Will Myers, Matt Kemp, Melvin Upton Jr. So 2, 3, and 4 in that 7th inning of the game yesterday. And as Jim said, 2 strikeouts. Yasmani Tomas hitting .391 with a couple of home runs against lefties this year. Also riding a 10-game hitting streak, longest in the National League currently. Longest in baseball is first baseman of the Royals, Eric Hosmer. He has 14. As we talked about, Tomas defected from Cuba in late 2014. He told his family 1 hour prior to defecting that he was leaving the island. Then 16 hours on a boat to Haiti.
Boy, you gotta want something dearly. You gotta want your freedom dearly, and obviously some of those Cuban defectors do.
The 2-2. Hope our fans that weren't watching the Blues had the chance to see Cuba, baseball's final frontier. which aired right before our pregame show tonight on Fox Sports Midwest. Really a neat program. 3-2 pitch. Hit out of play.
It's a good sign. Tomas is not getting around on that fastball. 2-0 fastball, 2-1 fastball. Hitting foul down the right side. The 3-2 fastball, the same thing.
And you might be able to get him to chase, as you mentioned, even on a 3-2.
17 walks last year, 110 strikeouts.
Ripped into center, but there is Grichuk, and it's over his head. Tomas on his way to second base with a double as Grichuk came in and a ball hit right at him. They say those are always the hardest for a center fielder.
Well, it just froze Randall. Now, I'll tell you, you can understand it. He's looking back at the batter's eye now, but he was looking in at a white shirt. All you have to do is stare into one white shirt, and that could be the difference. That freezes the legs, and then you have to run it down instead of catching it in the web before it hits the ground. Another look. Ball a laser shot to center field. And Grichuk couldn't recover.
Here's Wellington Castillo. He has homered in 3 straight games. And he has 6 on the year to lead their club, all 6 in the past 7 games.
15 hits, 6 home runs.
Here's a 1-0 pitch. 2 balls and no strikes.
Grichuk one more time. I don't think Randall really had a chance on this ball. He came in 2 steps, as Dan said, and it was about 5-6 feet over his head.
We had Jim Edmonds on the telecast over the weekend. We talked about those types of balls, and he said very, very difficult, clearly. And then we had a couple of Cardinal fans we were visiting with, and they gave Jim some trouble. They said, well, you clearly didn't see Curt Flood. He said, now that guy didn't make mistakes. And Jimmy said, well, I didn't make many either.
No, he didn't. And no, he didn't. For both of them.
No.
No, they didn't.
Here's a 2-0 pitch. Castillo hits it to Diaz. Slings it over to first. Follow the Cardinals with MLB.com at Bat app. And you can stay up to the moment at any moment with Game Day Live, Game Day highlights, StatCast news, and more. The #1 app for live baseball on your phone and tablet. Even on that play, Tim, it's a good example of Diaz. You saw him double clutch a little bit.
He shouldn't have looked at the runner at second base. He's a slow runner, and Tomas, you don't need to look him back. Just make your play as though there were nobody on second.
And they're just trying to get, with routine plays like that, to have him come over the top one.
Take a little crow hop, too.
Little crow hop.
He didn't take a crow hop. A little crow hop is that about 1.5 step, little leverage hop toward the base to which you're throwing.
And they've told him, too, just let it go.
Yeah.
Don't think, let it go.
Because if you try to baby it over there, you get under it, and it's high, and that's what happened, even though it wasn't too high for Brandon Moss to handle.
Here's David Peralta. What a story he is.
I was going to say that the bench coach for the Cardinals has been working persistently with Diaz for the last, 10 days, 8-10 days. David, a very, very good middle infielder, played some third, and used to getting rid of the ball quickly. Listen to the rhythm of your body.
Peralta taps it up the first base line. Tough play here. Garcia to first, not in time. Infield hit for David Peralta. That's a former pitcher getting down the line. He had a mid-90s fastball. They said his curveball when he was in the Cardinals organization was very good. It was 12-6, and had a chance to get to the big leagues as a pitcher, and then had labrum issues. And anytime you talk about the shoulder as opposed to the elbow, it's a completely different animal and trying to come back. So he remakes himself as a very good outfielder.
Went back to Venezuela, and his parents said, "You're not quitting, are you? You can hit." went to a place called Rio Grande Valley, an independent league team, worked at a McDonald's to get car fare and gas money to take him to the ballpark.
Right.
What a story.
Slept on an air mattress.
Yeah, right.
There's a strike to Chris Owings. The pitcher, Zach Greinke, is on deck. So a double by Tomas, the ground out by Castillo, infield hit by Peralta.
If you're Matt Carpenter at third, you're thinking ground ball to you, go home and get Tomas. And don't worry about the double play. This guy could fly at the plate.
It's a good late movement there by Garcia. Missouri Lottery Fox Tracks. 1 ball, 1 strike with 1 out. Runners at first and third. And that's lined into the seats and out of play. Sure, this has been a little bit of a frustrating inning for Garcia because you look at the first ball, could have been caught if you get a very good jump on it. Then the infield hit.
But you had in between that, you had a hard hit ball to shortstop. So
evens it out.
Kind of.
The ball gets away. It's a strikeout. A run will score, and both runners advance. So Owings is the first strikeout, but by the ball getting through Molina, that allows Tomas to score, and it's 2-1.
For those of you who may not know it, first base is occupied, and a strikeout gets by a catcher. The hitter is automatically out. He doesn't have a chance to go to first. So there was 1 out. Owings is automatically out. Tomas comes in to score. And the runner at first, David Peralta, goes to second. It gives you an idea of the movement of Jaime Garcia, though. Even Molina can't corral that fastball, a little cut fastball down in the dirt.
Zach Greinke is 4 for 8 with an RBI. Was used as a pinch hitter as Chip Hale ran out of position players in their game yesterday. 3 different times against the Pirates. They had the winning run at third, couldn't bring him in, to the point that then Shelby Miller had to take over in left field.
Yeah.
Tomorrow night's starter.
And the Pirates eventually scored 2 in the top of the 13th and won it by 2 runs.
Here's the 0-1. Greinke is just a good athlete. He's won a couple of Gold Gloves. Very good hitter as far as pitchers go in the league. And obviously, when he's on the mound, he's one of the best in the game. A former shortstop.
Don't throw him a strike here. That hit Yadi on the fingertips somewhere in his right hand, smothering that ball.
I think Yadi's also frustrated with the pass ball, which was scored a pass ball to allow Tomas to get the first run for Arizona. Wonder how comfortable you are if you're Dave Stewart and Tony La Russa and you hand over a contract like they have with Zach Greinke and not a lot of wiggle room. This isn't the Mets. This isn't the Yankees, Boston, Angels, the Cubs.
Can't make it up with attendance.
No. Nice block by Molina. 2-2. Tony La Russa took over baseball operations back in 2014, and since then the Cardinals have won 12 of 13 against the Diamondbacks.
They have not treated their Hall of Fame manager very nicely.
They had a 15-game improvement last year from the year before. And the 2-2 pitch to Greinke. And it's a strikeout. 2 in the inning. Diamondbacks get on the board. We head to the third and a 2-1 St. Louis lead.
Now, fans, let's go down.
Top of the third, you can see a frustrated Yadier Molina on that pass ball, which allowed a run to score. And it'll be Piscotty, Holiday, and Moss. Here's a look at the pass ball. Here's what you're talking about, Tim, that late movement with Garcia.
You can't read it. The hitters can't read it, and sometimes the catcher, Yadi, knows where it's coming from, but he is a perfectionist, and everybody knows that. That's why he is who he is.
Piscotty hit into a fielder's choice and scored a run back in the first. And the first pitch is taken for a ball. And the 1-0 pitch. And that's popped foul and out of play. Cardinals won all 7 games last year against the Diamondbacks, and 8 overall dating back to the season before. Tough play here. Ahmed. Wow, what a play. Made that look easy.
Well, boy, you were raving about Ahmed before the game tonight. I've never seen him play, even on some of the MLB highlights. But that, you talk about circling, taking a route to the ball, circling it and throwing in the same motion, scooping almost like an outfielder would. Good play.
He's got a very good arm as well.
Yeah.
So here is Holiday, tripled off the wall in right field. He picked up an RBI and also scored on a ground out by Brandon Moss. And the curveball drops in for a strike. It was the first triple of the season for Holiday. He's had 5 doubles, popped 3 home runs. Dave Stewart and Tony La Russa swept in at the last moment to get Zack Greinke. He was getting set to sign with the Dodgers and re-sign. He had an opt-out in his deal. And as we talked about, had a great year a season ago, historic year. And they were getting ready to have preparations for a news conference. So that's chopped left side. Taken there by Drury. Low throw and picked by Goldschmidt. 2 down. And then all of a sudden, Tony La Russa and the Diamondbacks swept in and gave him a monster contract. 4th ever $200+ million pitcher in the history of baseball.
During one 6-game streak last year, Greinke did not give up a run. He's 3rd on that consecutive scoreless inning streak behind Oral Hershiser and Don Drysdale.
That's well hit into right. On the move, Peralta makes the catch. So Moss is 0 for 2. Greinke starts to settle in as we move forward in this ballgame. And Heber Taylor, native of Trenton, Tennessee, became a Cardinals fan in 1932 at the age of 8. He served in Patton's 10th Armored Division during World War II in France, Luxembourg, and Germany. And with the GI Bill, he became one of the first PhDs in journalism, the University of Missouri, back in 1955. And he's one of the only Americans to be decorated by the Grand Chancellor of the National Order of the Legion of Honor at Palace of Salm. That's in Paris for his valor in 1944 during the Battle of the Rhine. Great to have him here, and thank you for your service. And a strike to Nick Ahmed. It was 3 home runs, batting .212 as Jeremy Hazelbaker takes over in left field. You just wonder if that flu bug has gotten to Matt Holliday.
Well, flu bug's one thing, and re-injuring the quad is quite another. The quad always a problem. That's one of the. It's tougher than a hamstring to heal.
Injured it twice last year.
Yeah.
Mentioned, when he hit the triple, wasn't running great, but it hasn't been running great since the injury. You can understand why. Kind of babies it a little bit. Charging Diaz. Yeah. Nice play.
There, throw when you don't have to think. That's what we were talking about earlier.
Defensive change for St. Louis this inning.
React.
Left field number 41, Jeremy Hazelbaker.
And the Cardinals are very happy on these types of plays. They feel that because he doesn't have to think, and it's kind of like when Wong has a routine play at second.
Oh, sure.
He fights it, but then when he ranges left or right, he can make a dazzling play.
The smart players, you hear that. A smart player is not a guy who thinks once he's between the white lines. It's a guy who thinks before he goes across the white lines to allow himself to react. That's a smart player. So preparation is the key.
Little flare into right center. Grichuk coming on. Can't make the catch. And Gene Segura is 2 for 2. Great effort from Randal Grichuk in center. And Segura's on for the second time tonight.
Good play by Stephen Piscotty, backing up the play. Segura with no chance to go to second base. Nice try by Grichuk.
Goldschmidt tried to steal back in the first inning and was caught by Molina on a throw from his knees. Keep an eye on Segura. He can run. 3 steals this year. And now it's Brandon Drury, bounced into a 6-4-3 double play back in the first inning.
That's about as good as you're going to get out of Jaime Garcia. Not a good move to first base, but any left-hander is better than a right-hander with an okay move because he's looking at the runner. And when you're looking at the runner, it's intimidating.
Would you say, Tim, we've seen more this year in the first month as opposed to previous years with catchers throwing from their knees?
Yeah, we have. Primarily, if you follow the Cardinals, you're looking at Yadier Molina, but we've seen other teams do it too, and do it successfully.
Saw that over the weekend with Derek Norris of the Padres. One ball and 1 strike. Dave McKay, who was a long-time first base coach for Tony La Russa in St. Louis and other stops, is now here in Arizona. Dave Duncan working as a special assistant in the front office, primarily with the minor league pitchers. Good changeup.
Real good changeup right there. Threw a changeup with a fastball motion. Get a hitter to swing at your arm motion. Very, very important with that pitch.
And that gets away from Molina. He's had a frustrating night. And Segura advancing to second base. Second ball that's gotten through Yadier Molina.
Yadi again upset, but I mean that ball. I mean he normally would come up with that ball, but he's very upset with his movement back there. But with Jaime Garcia, I mean that's part of his effectiveness. Balls you can't read, whether you're the hitter or the catcher, or the umpire for that matter.
The 2-2 pitch. Strikeout number 3 for Jaime Garcia. And does Goldschmidt get anything to hit with first base open? Friday, April 29th, 30,000 fans. Ages 16 and older receive an adult zip-up hooded sweatshirt. Stay warm as you cheer on the Cardinals all season long. Visit cardinals.com/promotions for tickets. Goldschmidt walked, caught stealing back in the first. Last year, MVP went to Bryce Harper, and right behind him was Paul Goldschmidt. Here's a 1-0 pitch. 1 ball, 1 strike.
Sometimes if you're a real good hitter, you get up there and can think yourself into thinking the pitcher is going to pitch around you, and he doesn't. And then you find yourself with the ball and 2 strikes. There are prices to pay if you're a good hitter with first base open.
The 1-1. Pulled to Carpenter. He backhands and again stumbles, throws, and makes the play, and he's hurt. Slow to get up. And what is going on right now with Matt Carpenter?
Well, a welcome sight. The ground crew out.
Wow.
For Matt.
On concessions and
St. Louis Cardinals baseball is brought to you by Bud Light. Raise 1-2 right now. By Chevrolet. Visit your local Mid-America Chevy dealer for great prices on the all-new 2016 Malibu. And by Menards. Save big money at Menards on all your home improvement needs. Randal Grichuk taps the first pitch foul. Matt Holliday is out of this game, and Carpenter again gets his feet tangled but makes the throw. Off balance. You can see the right leg buckle just a little bit, the ankle.
Yeah, odd.
So the word on Holliday we get is that it's a right leg cramp. That's why he's been lifted in this game. So Hazelbaker takes over.
It's important to know whether that cramp is on the top of the thigh in the quad area or in the hamstring area, the back of the thigh.
0-2 is tapped up the first base line, and the play is made. Let's go back to the first inning, and Holliday put this ball off the top of the wall and right, legged it out for a triple.
Well, sometimes you hit a ball where nobody is, and you think it may be an out, and now that burst of speed around first base, and by the time it gets to Matt gets to third base, there was no play on him, so nothing noticeable.
No.
About his leg.
There's Yadier Molina, flied out to right. He's 0 for 1. I can't remember the last time or if I've ever said it, but Yadier Molina's had a tough night defensively.
And to his credit, a great start offensively. I mean, in spring training, when he was ordered not to swing for 5 games, did you think he'd come out and pull the ball like he's done?
No, because he's maybe been swinging for a month and 5 days. About roughly.
Yeah, right. Almost all of spring training, he was babied for obvious reasons. Those 2 left thumb operations, one in October, one in December.
1 ball and 2 strikes.
And usually, if a catcher is catching a good pitching staff, if he has a good year with the bat, he does it most with the first half of the season, because by the second half of the season, his hand is just raw meat.
Beat up.
Yeah.
Probably worn out, your body in general.
Yep.
It's a great point. I mean, you think about it. Stan the Man used to say that he would go to a lighter bat at the end of a season. You know, just because he felt his body worn out.
Sure.
The 2-2.
Of course, even Stan the Man didn't have to catch guys throwing 95 and 98 miles an hour with movement, tearing your thumbs apart and your tendons and the swelling in the left hand. Tougher for a right-handed batter because you're turning over on that hand.
Two pitch. And a fly ball lifted out to right center. Chris Owens. First of 4 here this evening. Tomorrow, Major League Baseball is back on FS1. Cardinals and Diamondbacks all starts at 8 on FS1. Watch it live on Fox Sports Go. And then we'll be back on Wednesday and Thursday here on Fox Sports Midwest. Molina is 0 for 2, and it brings in Jed Jerko. 2 outs, nobody on. Jerko, ground ball, handled by Nick Ahmed. And the Cardinals go in order. We're midway through 4. St. Louis on top. It's 2-1. Ball is brought to you by Ford, the official cars and trucks of the St. Louis Cardinals. And get Major League coverage. T-Mobile has doubled its 4G LTE in the last year. Yasmani Tomas will be the hitter as we check in with Jim Hayes. Jimmy.
Dan, it's been a bizarre early season for our old friend Shelby Miller. You guys mentioned he played some left field last night. He's also struggling with his mechanics. He's 0-1 with an 8.59 ERA. Miller in his start before last was so out of whack he was scraping the knuckles on his right hand on the ground after every pitch. His knuckles got all cut up. Shelby told me that's something he's never dealt with before, but he said working with the coaching staff, looking at tape and through his side sessions, he feels like he's got a better handle on his mechanics, but we'll see tomorrow, Dan.
4 total starts and has not reached 15 innings so far this year. Walked more than he struck out, so that does sound like a guy that's fighting mechanics.
Yeah.
It's one of the times that the Cardinals dipped into the high school ranks to take a pitcher in the draft with a high pick. Hadn't done that all that much, and then they took a hard thrower by the name of Shelby Miller. Took him a while to get to the big leagues, but very good season with the Atlanta Braves a year ago on a bad team.
Great year.
On a bad team.
And he had nothing to show for it, really. No winning record or anything. Earned run average right around 3.
A 3-0 pitch to Yasmani Tomas. And it's a leadoff walk. The second walk issued by Jaime Garcia.
Every time I hear that term with you and Jim Hayes pay particular attention to this. Having problems with his mechanics. There was a major league player, outfielder, went from Philadelphia to Pittsburgh, bought 2 service stations in southern Texas. And he said that one day he was thinking about his mechanics, and the manager said, "You mean, are you dipping your shoulder?" No, he said, "No, I'm thinking about my mechanics, the guys who operate." So he quit. It was his last day in baseball. His mechanics were all messed up. Oh, gosh. Only in a game of a million stories.
And personalities.
Yeah.
And men from all over the world that come together to play this great game.
Yep.
Wellington Castillo grounded out to short. First time up. That's 5 straight balls to start this inning for Jaime Garcia. Well, we talked about the pressure that Zach Greinke is under right now with the contract, and you know, when you're traded and the #1 overall pick in the country is part of that deal, and a popular player in Ender Inciarte and a top prospect to get you, there's also some pressure on that side too, on Shelby Miller.
That #1 prospect is Dansby Swanson, I believe.
Shortstop from Vanderbilt.
Yeah. That was a big move by Tony La Russa.
Many around baseball thought they gave up too much to get Shelby Miller.
Yeah.
And a base hit into right field. Tomas to second, and he'll stop there. Should Tomas be at third base?
I think so. You gotta read right there. He's given up too quickly, I think. I mean, fortunately for the Cardinals realize the difference in being at first and third, no outs, as opposed to first and second with no outs. Now, the shot you saw right there was Piscotty finally got to the ball. But if Tomas is running hard, then he's able to round the bag, force a throw at first. And I understand you don't want to make the first out at third, and that is a point of reference. But I think you test an outfielder in that situation.
We saw over the weekend, well, 3 yesterday, 4 throws, I believe, from the outfielders that were way offline. I mean, by
is that right?
10 feet.
Is that right?
Yeah. The point being, it's not automatic the throw's going to be there.
How many times do you go to a major league game and see a guy thrown out at a base by an outfielder? Not often.
And Peralta skies it down the left field line, and it slices foul and out of play.
But also, Dan, you wonder about where you're hitting in the order. If you're batting cleanup, you've got the bottom part of the order coming up. You don't have anybody who's going to drive the ball. Peralta, okay, but he's got a tough left-hander to do it. And if you're at third base with nobody out, it's a lot easier to score that tying run than being at second with no outs.
The 0-2. Two pitch to Peralta, and a ground ball to Moss. Steps on the bag, and runners advance to second and third.
nothing Brandon Moss could do by the time he caught the ball and stepped on first. Castillo, not a fast runner, but he was already at second base.
How do you think Jaime Garcia approaches this at bat? Now, it's the pitcher on deck, Zach Greinke. And again, we talked about it. He can handle the bat, but first base open.
Yeah, forget about it. You go get him. That's my view. No pitching around at all here.
A 2-1 game, bottom of the fourth. Second and third, and one out.
See, Garcia can pitch around you without even trying to.
Yeah.
His ball moves so much.
Exactly. He's a different animal, isn't he?
Yeah, he is. He doesn't, you know, he doesn't throw it to a dot. No four-seam fastballs.
He has struck out 3 tonight. He's walked 2. Ground ball. Jerko gets the out just in time as a run scores. That's Yasmani Tomas.
Boy, Owings flying down the line.
Well, we said it. He can really run.
Really run. Infield was back, just getting Owings at first base.
Tomas has scored both runs for Arizona tonight. And here's the pitcher, Zach Greinke, with a runner at third. Was called out on strikes back in the second inning. And the first pitch is taken for a ball. It is amazing, though. You watch lefties, and it's just the natural movement that they are.
Yeah.
It's God-given. It's the ability to move the ball.
Right-handers have to try to do what they do naturally.
What were you laughing at?
I was laughing at Greinke and some of those faces that he makes. It's just like he's in just dire agony somewhere.
It was 10 years ago. 2005 and then 06. In 05, he was 5-17.
With Kansas City?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then he left the game for a while, had anxiety issues. And was ready just to walk away from baseball. And here we are after a 19-3 record, a 1.66 ERA. He's one of the highest paid players in the game. Two balls, one strike. During our break, when we head to the fifth, Pat Paris will get you caught up on Blues hockey at the Scottrade Center. A Game 7 between the Blues and the Hawks.
Quit teasing me. What happened?
You gotta pay attention.
Oh, I am.
I'm not telling you. I mean, pay attention during the commercial break, something you rarely do.
But no, when the Blues are playing,
you're all over it.
well, I'm not all over
You're
it,
all
but
over
I'm interested. Still haven't met
Look,
Brett
I told
Hull.
you before this game. Enough of your attitude.
What did you tell me?
Let's take it outside. And it's 3-2. Well, let me put it to you this way. Here's the tease. I think you're going to be very happy with what Pat has to bring us.
Well, that's better.
That is better. I agree with you.
Much better.
It's one thing we will agree upon.
There.
That's what we call a tease in the business. I know you're just learning the business. You were part of one of the great World Series, not as a player, but broadcaster. I think it might be the best ever. Yankees and Diamondbacks and the game-winning hit at this ballpark in Game 7.
2001, 9-1-1. About 7 weeks prior to that.
That's taken for a ball inside. Can't watch the games on TV. You can now stream games live on your mobile device. Just go to the App Store, download the free Fox Sports Go app, log in, stream the Cardinals wherever you go. And if memory serves correct, Mariano Rivera on the mound, Luis Gonzalez at the plate. And you had mentioned, well, with a cutter and a lefty at the plate, you might see one of those little jam shots that gets over a shortstop's head. And sure enough, it happened.
To end the game and end the series and put the city of Phoenix into a frenzy.
The walk to Greinke, 2 outs, 2 on. Hit down the right field line, foul. And Gonzalez, ward number 20, works in the front office for the Diamondbacks, and their manager works on their television side of games. Bob Brenly, one of the best. You had a chance to work with Bob in the booth.
BB, a great guy. That was his first year as manager. There's Bob Brenly, one of the great guys in the game and a terrific broadcaster.
Here's a 0-1. You know, they had a game, as we talked about yesterday, in which they ran out of position players. And we forget, if Gonzalez didn't get the hit in Game 7, the Diamondbacks were out of position players.
You told me that before the game, and I'd forgotten that.
He said, I'm not sure what direction we would have gone, but I don't care. We won. We were going for it.
Got a chance to win it. Go for it. Against the greatest reliever in the history of the game, Mariano Rivera.
2-1 the count on Nick Ahmed. He grounded out to short his first time up. The 2-1 pitch inside, and Molina gets a little help. No, I think it hit the umpire.
I thought it hit the foot of Yadier Molina first. I thought it was a skate save. Honestly, I don't think he put a glove on it. We'll see. Came up through the arm and hit the umpire. Had it not hit the umpire, the runner at third, Wellington Castillo, probably scores.
Oh, sure.
That ball's by Molina.
It's Dan Bellino, the home plate umpire.
Just hope it didn't hit him in the throat area. That's the danger. And
looks like he just got the wind knocked out of him. Let's take a look. Yeah.
right in the solar plexus. There is protection under that shirt. You can see it. It's a plastic, a small plastic protector. Sometimes if it hits just right, you can imagine the solar plexus that can knock the wind out of you or be more painful than it normally is. Protect each other back there, boy.
Yadier Molina, busy night behind the plate. All the late natural movement that Garcia has, and Yadi upset. Another one gets through. They put a runner in scoring position.
The success of Garcia also is his detriment.
Movement.
Yeah.
Three and one the count on the shortstop Nick Ahmed. 2-2 game. Runners at first and third. The high fly ball lifted out to left field. Hazelbaker back with room and puts it away. So the Diamondbacks pick up a run. They've tied it up They strand 2. We head to the 5th. A Blues update upcoming. All right, Pat, love having those updates, and keep them coming. Aledmys Diaz will lead it off. The highest average by a rookie in any month in Major League Baseball since 1913. And Aledmys is on this list. .490 to start his Major League career. Incredible story that this has become. So he leads it off in inning number 5 and an infield hit back in the 2nd inning. But Tim, this is really an amazing story. Aledmys Diaz coming from basically nowhere to have this kind of month and this kind of impact on the team.
Wasn't even going to make the team, for crying out loud.
Matt Bowman was probably 24 hours away from not being part of the team. Jeremy Hazelbaker, Aledmys Diaz, and they all have played big roles here in the first few weeks.
That's right.
Hazelbaker took over for Holiday, and hopefully he's all right. We'll have more on the post-game show with Jim. Left the game with a sore right hamstring. Four pitchers have had contracts of $200+ million. Greinke being one of them, as Diaz hits it up the middle. It's another base hit. David Price, Clayton Kershaw, Max Scherzer, and tonight's starter for Arizona.
And the Cards came very close to signing David Price. And again, the hit machine, 10 for his last 12. That's a week and a half's worth of work.
Snaps a string of 8 straight set down by Zach Greinke. Garcia sacrificed his first time up. Greinke gloves and makes the play. 2
really good bunts by Jaime Garcia. 2 sacrifices.
Aledmys now hitting .500. Well, you and I saw this coming, but everybody else needed to catch up with us. We knew Diaz was going to do this.
Well, I didn't know he was going to do it, but I knew he was the best man for the job, just from Ruben Tejada, of course, was injured. Johnny Peralta was injured in spring training before Tejada. Ruben Tejada is with the Cardinals right now, but I'm sorry, Diaz is the man.
Everything he hits is hard.
Yeah. Even his outs are hard.
Yes.
8 hits in 2 games. That has not been done by a Cardinal rookie since 1974 when Bake McBride did it. Shake and bake.
Carpenter hits it sharply to Segura. 2 outs. Sunday, May 1st. Great Kids Day at the ballpark. That day, kids 15 and younger entering with a ticket receive a 28-inch Randall Grichuk bat, courtesy of Rawlings, and a voucher valid for a free ticket, courtesy of Ritz. Also stop by the Ford Plaza prior to the game. Prairie Farms Ice Cream Sunday. That's all coming up Sunday, May 1st, when the Cardinals take on the Nationals. Get to see Bryce Harper in action as Piscotty hits it out of play.
He has been on fire.
Yep.
2 grand slams already, and we have what, 6 days left in April. But the guy hitting behind him, Daniel Murphy, who was the second baseman for the New York Mets. You folks may have remembered him from last year's postseason, having those 6 home runs in 6 games. On fire.
On the
he
way
can
to
hit,
the,
I'll tell you that.
MVP last year.
Yeah.
Off the glove of Greinke, Piscotty will beat it out. And the Cardinals back on top. It's 3-2. Diaz scores.
Now, Greinke is such a good fielder that sometimes you're too quick. And had, for instance, he allowed this ground ball to get through, maybe the shortstop feels the ball. Ahmed with a lot of range down there. But as it was, the ball deflected to where Ahmed was, and no play could be made, and the Cardinals retake the lead.
A 2-out RBI and number 10 for Stephen Piscotty. Back in safely. Hazelbaker had the home run off the bench the other night. That snapped an 0 for 17. And now he's in an 0 for 6 stretch. Average has dipped to 280 after his tremendous start. Inning started with a base hit to center field by Aledmys Diaz, just out of the reach of Ahmed, and another check on the runner at first, Piscotty. Then we saw the sacrifice, which plays a key role in this inning, by Garcia. Carpenter grounded out to second on a hard hit ball, and an infield hit by Piscotty off the glove of the pitcher Zach Greinke. Hazelbaker hits it the other way. That short stroke. It is gone. It's over the wall and left. Throw it back in here. Hazelbaker, opposite field home run, a 2-run shot, and the Cardinals extend their lead. How about this swing from Jeremy Hazelbaker?
Quick. I didn't realize he had power like that the other way. Quick and short. Well, think about this inning. The base hit up the middle by Diaz. Now a little small ball sacrifice. 1 run is in, and now the long ball. Fastball up and away. That's usually a lethal area for left-handed batters. A lot of them can't cope with that pitch. But Hazelbaker's first at bat, and there's something about the first at bat for the Cardinal hitters. The early at bats have been home run riddled.
I would imagine the umpires are going to take a look and see if the fan reached over the wall and left.
Yeah, that's probably right.
The fan, a Diamondbacks fan, clearly upset, threw it right back on the field. But really, we ought to look at signing him up. He made a pretty nice play. Quick hands in the transition to get it back in the infield.
Diamondbacks are not worried about that right now. They could care less. There is a guy with a glove out there. We do know that.
Right.
So was it off his glove? Or was it off his glove in the stands? Would it have been a home run anyway? It's a home run anyway. Nah, it's a home run anyway. He caught the ball. No, it's a home run. Watch him clear the fence.
Ladies and
Hits the
gentlemen,
top of the
previous
fence
play
and leaves. It's a home run.
Replay review.
Watch the glove go back.
He's trying to sell it.
That's what I saw. He's saying now that he caught the ball in front of the fence.
Right.
This guy's smartening up. He said, I don't want 15,000 people after me. Go to my car tonight, they'll be booing me.
15,000 might be generous tonight. That's the 5th home run for Hazelbaker if it stands. Jeremy last year had a total of 13 between Springfield and Memphis. But I think what it does show is that he's got power the other way, but his stroke is so short and quick.
That was quick and short. You're right, exactly right, Barney. I hope we take another look at that, because my first thought was that he made the catch, but it was at least over the fence or behind it.
See, watch him pull it back right there. That's the only concern I would have.
I don't think that's. I think that's a home run.
And it is. It stands.
After video replay review, it was a home
Jeremy's
run.
clapping.
Nice call. Nice call, he says.
Oh, great call. Well,
These guys are really good.
Who are these umpires? Give me their number.
You guys want some dinner later, or, you know, what can I do for you?
Yeah. 2-run dinger. Why not?
They put up 5 on Zach Greinke, who had dominated St. Louis prior to this start. There's a curveball that drops in for a strike. When he was with the Dodgers, he basically was unbeatable against most teams, and certainly the St. Louis Cardinals. Little squibber that's hit to short, and the play is made. The Cardinals get 3 2-out RBIs and 2 with 1 swing of the bat. They lead 5-2. Cardinals tickets fill up at Phillips 66, 8 gallons or more now until September 29th. Receive up to 50% off on a pair of tickets to a Cardinals home game. For more information, visit cardinals.com/Phillips66.
You rascal, you.
What?
You held out on me.
The Blues win.
Come on, that's great.
And there's some Cardinal fans here. You can hear the Blues chant. We welcome those that were watching the St. Louis Blues eliminate the Chicago Blackhawks. Here to Arizona, it's 5-2 St. Louis. I think the thing that we look at with that home run too, Tim, and this is Gene Segura, there was no definitive look at the replay. So you would almost have to have a camera going down the line of
good point.
the wall to see whether or not he was over the wall.
Right. Somewhere either above the wall or down the wall.
Exactly.
Like from below left. And you're not going to have a camera like that unless it's a postseason.
Right. NFL installed the pylon cam in the end zones for their playoff games. Here's an 0-2 pitch. This guy is red hot. They can't get him out. 3 for 3. Piscotty is over. He'll spin and fire into second base. And the ball scoots away, but not far enough to advance. It's a double for Gene Segura.
That was a good play by Hazelbaker. Not many left fielders would come over and get behind Diaz. That was a rocket Piscotty threw. It was a short hop and in between hop. Diaz couldn't make the play, but you're right. I mean, Segura, how do you pitch it? Guys hitting the ball like that. Great play by Piscotty. You talk about mechanics now. That's the perfect way for a right fielder to make that play.
Gene Segura now with 28 hits.
3 tonight.
Well, check that. He's up to 31. That was coming into play tonight, the 28. So he's up to 31.
Right.
Here's Brandon Drury. Well, it's nice to see, and I know the city of St. Louis can breathe a little easier and have some fun tonight.
Oh, yeah, especially against the Blackhawks.
Yeah.
Are you kidding me? I mean, if it's any other team, it's a great win, but nothing could be better than it being against the Blackhawks.
Couldn't agree more. And the Hawks were the defending Stanley Cup champions. It's one of the great traditions, too, that they have in the sport of hockey after a postseason elimination game or any time a team is eliminated in the playoffs. The handshake. As there's a Blues fan here in Arizona.
The legitimate handshakes, too. And they are legitimate. You could tell by the feeling in the eyes of the players.
There's Carpenter. Stays on his feet. It's a high throw, and Moss down on the bag.
See that there again. Don't look at the runner at second base. You have a runner. We saw Diaz do that earlier, but I think Segura with that last fake, it was just a little fake, and he's so quick that it made Carpenter think, uh-oh, he might be coming over. Well, you can't worry about that. You have a 3-run lead. Watch. That last little nudge by Segura made Carpenter think maybe he's coming over to third. But you got a 3-run lead, and that's what you got to remember.
Goldschmidt looks at a strike as Segura faked going to third. Goldschmidt has walked. That was back in the first, then was caught stealing and also grounded out to third. Here's an 0-1. No balls and 2 strikes. Goldschmidt, they found him and took him in the draft from Texas State University.
Texas State. Actually completed his degree by going to the University of Phoenix, finishing in 2013. And that's very rare. Piscotty did that.
Went
back to Stanford. Got his degree. It's nice.
Breaking ball misses. Albert Pujols has hit a home run tonight, and it's a significant home run. It's number 564, so that puts him past Reggie Jackson.
Wow.
Man.
The Angel great. And Yankee great, of course, but longtime Angel.
Here's a 1-2 pitch.
I think the umpire helped Yachty there.
I can't recall a game, and I've done the majority of his games
Yes,
in his
you
career.
have. Yes.
Came up in 2004. I can't remember a time where Molina has had, you know, the struggles here
Well,
just keeping
with
the ball in front.
with his trap door too.
Yeah.
Usually he puts that glove down there and seals it, the area between his legs. The ball can't get through, but tonight several have gotten through. The umpire did help there.
2 balls, 2 strikes with 1 out and a runner at second. And a ground ball that's hit to Carpenter. And he makes the play. And Segura is still at second base.
After a leadoff double. I don't. No. I know what you're saying. I don't think he's good. No. You trail it by 3. No, I don't agree.
Yeah, you weren't sure what I was
Don't
going
you
to
look
say.
at me like that.
Power Stats brought to you by Kubota. Castillo with 6 home runs to lead the Arizona Diamondbacks. So Segura, who should be at third, is now.
I knew that's what you were thinking. I'll get that bozo. That hick from Memphis.
No, sir. Yasmani Tomas scored 2 runs tonight.
Ooh.
He'd like to have that one back.
Yeah, that was one that he swung so hard, the ligaments in his left hand were dancing around in there. Those tendons in the fingers have minds of their own when you swing that hard.
The 0-1 pitch to Tomas. Ooh, he gets the call on the outside corner.
Good curveball. I don't know whether it was a strike or not, but it was a good pitch from Garcia. Probably the best breaking ball. Almost started out in the strike zone and then it was borderline, but he got the call.
The 0-2 in the dirt, kept in front by Molina.
Boy, this is a tough game, isn't it, Dan?
Yeah.
It's almost like a hockey game unto itself. Molina having all sorts of problems. Cardinal fans not used to that.
You know, we've talked to Mike Matheny about Molina and catching Garcia. And Mike has done this on the side too. And he said of all the guys he's caught, this is Mike Matheny talking. He said Garcia, without question, is the hardest guy, even in bullpens, just to catch. Garcia will step and throw. Make sure it's a 4-seamer. And it is. A strike to the chest, Brandon Moss. 5-2 Cardinals as we head to the 6th. Village. I'm sure it's a madhouse tonight, just like Scott Trade Center. BJC Healthcare difference maker, hard to catch. He's also hard to hit. That's Jaime Garcia. Fewest hits per 9. Here's Randal Grichuk. (5-2) Cardinals. And again, for those of you that have just joined us, the Cardinals jumped out to a 2-0 lead. Diamondbacks tied it up at 2-2. And then the Cardinals picked up 3 in the 5th. And in that inning, a Jeremy Hazelbaker 2-run homer. And the 3 runs scored with 2 outs. Grichuk here, then Molina and Jerko. Along with Jim Hayes and Tim McCarver, I'm Dan McLaughlin. And the 1-1 pitch.
Diamondbacks led the Cardinals in extra base hits by 1. They were 1 and 2 coming into this game. The Cardinals have 3, 2 triples and a home run. The Diamondbacks with 2. So they're even in extra base hits now.
The shift on here for Grichuk. We'll see if the trend continues. And we're about a month into the season, but it just seems to be a league, at least in the National League, very top heavy with good teams, if not exceptional teams.
Yeah.
Not a lot of middle of the road teams, and the bottom feeders are real bad. Grichuk with a high fly ball lifted into left. Tomas coming on and makes the catch. Remember, Tomas was signed as a third baseman originally, then moved to left field. What's on Tap is brought to you by Budweiser, and again, tomorrow's ball game can be seen on FS1. Carlos Martinez, he's 3-0 on the year. 2 starts against Arizona, and he's 1-0. Shelby Miller, the former Cardinal, will go for the Arizona Diamondbacks. He's been roughed up early on. First pitch to Molina is taken low. The 1-1 pitch. Just received a message from some of those that are at Ballpark Village. Now they've got the sound up of the baseball game, and they said, yes, it is a madhouse over here.
Oh, I bet it is. Nice call.
Blues fans, man, there's been a lot of frustration over the years.
Oh, yeah.
So off to round 2. One ball and 2 strikes. Yadier Molina. Cardinals will get home on Friday early in the morning, probably around 4 or 5, and then take on Washington Friday night. The base hit for Yadier Molina. Now that you've had the chance last 3 years, Tim, to watch Yadi up close as a hitter, he's so good at going to right field.
Yeah, that's his natural stroke. And again, I mean, you know, I'm not saying Yadi, I think Yadi can play another 5 years. But the hands slow down, and your natural stroke goes the other way. You're just not as quick as you were when you were younger. It's one of the trade-offs that he has lost nothing behind the plate. He's still as quick with the great hands that he's always had, but it does tell in swinging the bat.
I don't know if you agree with this, and take tonight out of this equation, but I think he's moved better this year than he has in the last couple of years, and that's really saying something. It's not that he wasn't moving well the last couple of years.
Moving well behind the plate.
Yes.
Well,
I think it's even better.
I think he started that last year. 2 years ago, he was too heavy. And he decided, I'm losing weight, and he did, and it's for his betterment. Even though last year he was hurt, but he kept the weight off.
Yeah.
And and looks good. It's going to help him behind the plate. It's just something you have to do if you're an older player. For a catcher, it's when you reach 30. For a regular player, it's probably 32, 33. Joe Torre did it for the Cardinals in 1971. Came the MVP. 363 average, one of the great years by a guy who couldn't run. I mean, a great year.
One ball, one strike. Joe has just about done everything you can in the game. Managed, played.
Yep.
Major League Baseball front office. Pulled to third, out at second, and a double play. Look at Segura show off that arm. Woo. 5-4-3 on the double play. Midway through 6. Cardinals on top. Ticket to Bud Bash and get an exclusive bobblehead and an autograph from Jeff Suppan on Tuesday, May 3rd. Purchase your tickets at cardinals.com/budbash. No losses against Arizona. This is the Cardinals all-time list. Jaime Garcia coming into play tonight, 5-0. Lance Lynn, Darryl Kyle made the first ever start at this ballpark, and then Joel Pinheiro had a couple of good years with St. Louis. That'd be good. We get to see Jeff Suppan coming up in our next homestand.
Talk about a great moving fastball. Joel Pinheiro was a right-handed Jaime Garcia.
That's a good way to put it. Yeah. Here's Castillo, followed by Peralta and Owings. Jeff Fasold is here. Lives in Phoenix, big Cardinal fan, and wants to say hi to family and friends back home. Here's a 1-0 pitch. Rip past Carpenter and down into the left field corner. Leadoff double for Wellington Castillo. He's 2 for 3.
Talk about a guy who has hit the ball with authority tonight and all season, really. I mean, this guy's a big man with a great swing.
Here's David Peralta. Maybe an odd question to you, but a fan will say, well, what's a great swing to Tim McCarver? What do you see that has some guys, you look at him, you go, okay, but then another guy you say, that's a great swing?
Well, I guess a guy who can cover both sides of the plate and hit the ball well to all 3 outfield spots. Go the other way, and they're not little dinkers. They're, you know, Castillo tonight, for instance, hard hit line drive to right field. The next time up, he pulls one down the left field line. That's great plate coverage.
0-2 the count here on David Peralta.
Got a young Will Clark with San Francisco. Not when he got to St. Louis. He had some big hits, nice years with St. Louis, but when he was younger, that high finish in his swing was just almost effortless.
And the lefties always look like they have a pretty swing.
Well, none
most.
prettier than Musial.
The check swing. 1-2 the count.
Stan Musial, in my mind, was the greatest low ball hitter in the history of the game.
Period.
Period. It was almost at times like he was hitting with a shovel. He could flat out rake that low breaking ball down below the knees and lift it. Not only hit it hard, but there was such lift.
Here's a 1-2. Curveball lifted out to center field. And past Grichuk into the wall. A run will score, and Peralta on his way to third. A triple for David Peralta. He's 2 for 3. And drives in the third run for Arizona tonight.
Yeah, that was just a flat-out hanger. That was a lollipop from Jaime Garcia, the first one of the night.
Center fielder, Chris.
I've always said that a curveball from a left-handed pitcher to a left-handed hitter, generally speaking, is the easiest pitch to handle because you can readjust your swing. By that I mean that particular pitch, he read that it was a hanger early. He had started into his swing, and he actually repositioned his hands and crushed it.
That'll be it for Jaime Garcia. 92 pitches tonight. Our Chevy call to the pen. And Matt Bowman, the right-hander, will come on when we come back. And the D-backs, it all starts at 8 on FS1. Watch it live on Fox Sports Go. Martinez and Shelby Miller tomorrow. After a double, then a triple. Garcia out as he pitches into the 6th. The Hyundai pitch arsenal here for Matt Bowman. This has been a very nice find for the Cardinals. Rule 5 pickup from the Mets.
Yeah, he certainly has shown good movement on balls down. Good sinking fastball. Good changeup.
Here's Chris Owings.
I think Matt Bowman, what he's done right now, and it's very early in the year, but Seth Maness does not have the esteem that he had as the workhorse for this staff for the last 2 years. Been hanging a lot of sinkers. They've been up. He'll get it together. Cardinals know that, but Bowman, meanwhile, has done a very good job, and for the most part, he's taken his place. That's it right there. He's got to have that pitch called a strike. It was low, however.
2 balls, no strikes. Greinke is on deck, and there is nobody out. Be interesting to see what Chip Hale wants to do with that move, potentially. And a base hit. That makes it 5-4. So close the book on Jaime Garcia. 5+ innings, 4 runs on 8 hits. Struck out 3 and walked 2.
Fourth RBI of the year make that the 5th RBI of the year for Owings. And whether Greinke's up there to bat or not, his reputation has kept him in the game. He can hit, he can bunt, he can handle the bat, he can field. Yachty's saying you don't know whether he's going to bunt. I mean, he could hit and run here.
Sure.
Owings, a fast runner at first base.
Walked back in the 4th and struck out looking in the 2nd. Big Cardinal fan Tom Parchomsky is watching tonight, celebrating his birthday and enjoying Cardinal baseball. Happy birthday to Chomps. Outfield very, very shallow here for Zack Greinke.
And that's the thing. If he hits it, you know, the thing about Greinke, he's got good power to right center field. He can hit the ball to right center field a long way. I'm not too sure I'd be bunting with him here if I'm Chip Hale. Too good a hitter. Carpenter's close enough to shake hands with him.
May show bunt, have him hit.
Maybe.
So Carpenter way in at 3rd, outfield straightaway and shallow. Still nobody out. 1 ball, 1 strike as we play here in the bottom of the 6th. The tying run at first base. A strike to Greinke as Molina set up about a half foot outside, but that ball was a strike.
Yeah, it was right down the pipe. I don't know what Zach was thinking there. Just buckles.
Squares to bunt again with 2 strikes. Now swinging and past Carpenter and to left. Owings stops at second base. Fifth hit for Greinke this year.
Now Carpenter way in, of course, and he just slaps it by. I mean, you got to respect this guy. He can handle the bat. You know, Owings is really a fast runner, so you could say, well, Matt doesn't have a play on Owings anyway, so why is he so shallow? You could say that. As it was, Greinke just trickles it by Matt Carpenter.
Kevin Segras begins to throw in the Cardinals pen. Nick Ahmed may bunt here. Showing bunt, looks at a strike.
And we've talked about Chris Owings. They call him CO, his speed. He was thinking third base here, but he slipped going around second base. I'll tell you what, the dirt between second and third needs to be checked. You've seen Carpenter have 2 problems there, and now Owings going around second base. That's not like a major league infield should be.
Oh, 2. Well, twice in this game tonight, we saw Jaime Garcia get a bunt down, and now the Diamondbacks trying to do that here. Worked out well for Greinke not to get the bunt down, and then slapped it into left. Now 0-2 on Nick Ahmed. Three for 14 with runners in scoring position tonight. But already 14 opportunities for Arizona. Bowman loved that ground ball. Get the double play here. Pitch taken inside. Two and 2. Struck him out. What would the changeup it looked like?
It was high. Sometimes you get good results with bad pitches, and this is one of the times.
Second baseman, King.
Might have been a changeup up.
Boy, he got away with it.
Fooled everybody. He got away with one there. Little double switch time for the Cardinals.
Colton Wong will come into the game, so will Kevin Siegrist down to the Cardinals pen. Runners at first and second, 1 out. Our Chevy call to the pen. Siegrist coming on when we come back. Louis Cardinals are teaming up to hit a home run against hunger. Sunday, May 1st. Fans who bring a non-perishable food item to Ballpark Village and their parking lot from 10 a.m. to 1:30 receive a voucher for 2 free Cardinal tickets to an upcoming home game. And again, that is coming up on May 1st. Our Hyundai pitch arsenal, nothing fancy here with Kevin Siegrist. A lot of fastballs, the changeup mixes in the occasional curve against a lefty. And Siegrist, as we talked about earlier in the game, had the flu yesterday, pitched through it, and Wong also dealing with the flu, and he's at second base.
Yeah, you almost had a double flu switch there with Wong going to second and Kevin Siegrist now the pitcher in a great matchup with a guy who's red hot. Segura 3 for 3 on the night.
Singled off the glove of Carpenter, a line drive back in the first. Singled to shallow right center, and then a double inside the first baseline in the 5th. Runners at first and second. Have to be a hard hit ball to double him up on the ground.
Right now, he is the hardest player to double up in the National League. That's because for a right-handed batter, he gets out of the box so quickly. Left-handers, a guy like Peralta got out of the box primarily because he's a left-hander. He's closer to first. It's tough for right-handers who complete their swing to get out of the box quickly, but Segura can do it.
Here's the 0-1. Change up in the dirt. 1 ball, 1 strike. Sometimes you'll see Siegrist, it's still an effective pitch, but he'll telegraph it with how the arm and the body drag a little bit as opposed to what you see full force with the fastball coming through.
Yeah, some young pitchers do that, but once you get more experience, you realize that hitters read that immediately. It's a telltale sign that a change is coming.
1-1. Change up again. So back-to-back change-ups against the right-handed hitting Segura.
I think part of what helps Kevin disguise this changeup is his height. When you're 6'5" and you throw it and you've got that little extra reach in that changeup, it's much more effective than smaller guys.
18,208 the crowd tonight. 18208. Cardinals bullpen has been as good as advertised coming out of spring training. They gave up 1 run in the 3 games against San Diego over the weekend in 9 innings, which included 4 of the 9 yesterday. And their ERA on the road collectively 1.47.
Best in baseball.
The 1-2 pitch. And Siegrist can come in and get strikeouts with the best of them too. Kevin has struck out 12 in 7 2/3.
Yeah, I'll say it again, Dan. This has been a rugged game.
Yeah.
Yadier Molina just really getting just chewed up behind the plate.
Moss will give chase, and it's out of play. It's kind of a rugged game in general.
It is. You're right.
Not a lot of flow to it. You had the Carpenter plays in which he fell twice. Holiday had to leave the game.
Chris Owings going around second base.
Yeah.
Could have gone to third, thinking about third. The terrain between second and third is awful on this field.
It's another 1-2 pitch. Instead, a check on the runners. It's 4 consecutive hits prior to the strikeout for Bowman of Nick Ahmed. Hammered. Deep left. Gone. Fourth home run for Segura, and he's 4 for 4, and the triple away from the cycle.
That was a tracer hit to left field.
Brandon Drury. And the Diamondbacks have the lead following the 3-run homer.
You look at Segura's night, beg your pardon. 2 singles to right field. Actually, one of those to left field on the infield. Then a double down the right field line. And then waited for that changeup, and boy, he hit it hard. Wow.
You may notice where he's holding his hands now. He's dropped his hands. And it's
they are
become
lower.
A lot shorter and quicker compact bat. They felt he got away from that in Milwaukee, and his swing got a little long. That was quick.
Nothing long about that swing.
So the first home run allowed by Kevin Segras this year. And the first run allowed by the Cardinal lefty this year as well. The 2-1 pitch. Base hit to left. Six hits in the inning.
It's no secret that these Diamondbacks can swing the bats. They can swing with anybody. They proved it yesterday against Pittsburgh, losing that 12-10 game in 13 innings, and they're proving it again tonight.
So here is Paul Goldschmidt. 0 for 2 tonight. Twice has grounded out to third to go along with a walk. Diamondbacks with 12 hits in this game.
They have hit for the cycle also in this inning. 3 singles, a double, a triple, and a home run.
Seth Maness begins to throw in the Cardinals' pen. And now Derek Lilliquist out to visit with Segras. And with that, it gives us a chance to take a look even further at Paul Goldschmidt, with the caption at the top of that graphic, Silverschmidt, because he is the runner-up in the MVP. So he didn't win the gold, he won the silver. That's put together by our truck, and in particular one Keith O'Brien, who is very proud of that graphic. And his assistant is Keith Oberman down there. Taken high. One out and a runner at first. Well, Lilliquist goes out to visit, gives Maness a little bit more time to get loose, but it doesn't take him very long, and you just wonder what the Cardinals maybe from their dugout are seeing here with Kevin Segras.
I don't think that was. I think it gave Maness a little bit more time. I have no idea why Derek went out there. No idea.
Another throw over to check on Drury, who has no steals this year.
Most meetings on the mound, you can draw nothing from them. And I mean nothing. And I'm being as honest as I can. My experience on the mound over a 20-year period, believe me, nothing was said of consequence. Nothing.
I like what you told me, that Red would come out and just say, okay, what do you guys want to do?
Yeah, and we'd tell him, and he'd say, okay, go get him. Yeah, those were the best meetings ever.
Well, the players have to have confidence in what they want to do, too. And if you let them make that decision,
then they make the decision.
it's done with conviction.
Yeah, you're not telling anybody. I mean, you know, managing players on that, all bullpen mounds ought to be eliminated. Only one opinion.
The 2-1 pitch. Ooh, just missed a little bit low, and Segura stares back into the home plate umpire. This could turn out right here to be a big pitch in this game on 3-1, and Goldschmidt could lose it in a hurry. All of a sudden, you've got yourself a 4-run deficit.
Get a ground ball, or do you get a 2-run homer? He's got tremendous power the other way. Neither.
3-2. And he walked him. That may be it for Kevin Siegrist, and it is. So the Cardinals will turn to Seth Maness. Seven men reach base in this inning. It's our Chevy call to the pen. For the Cardinals in particular because of their pinch hit home runs and production late in innings. But tonight, a little different story, as we have seen 6 base hits and a walk. And now it is Seth Maness. Now Maness pitched on Friday night. He got a double play after being roughed up a little bit early on in that inning that he came in. Stayed for the, and that was in the 7th, stayed for the 8th and got 3 ground ball outs. And the Cardinals, according to Mike Matheny, felt that he had figured out something mechanically in that inning. We'll see if that carries over to tonight. Time will tell. Tomas is the 9th man to come to the dish.
1 out. That was a strikeout of Ahmed. Sometimes you forget where you are. You're in a you're backpedaling, and you need a double play ball to get you out of it and regroup. Cardinals still plenty of time. 3 innings left, 9 outs to score 2 runs.
Tomas, 2 runs scored tonight, a double, go along with a walk, and also grounded back to Jaime Garcia, who was the pitcher at the time. Fly ball into deep right center field. And this ball, one hops over the wall, and it's a ground rule double. So 1 run will score. That will make it 8-5. And the RBI for Tomas is number 11. And already earlier in the game, he had extended his hitting streak to 11.
That's that fastball from Seth Maness. Instead of sinking, Seth has really had a tough time getting it to sink, and it just stays on that level plane. That ball just above the knees, almost like a sailing fastball instead of a sinker. Tomas handled it with authority. Now the Cardinals forced to bring their infield in.
So runners at second and third. The inning started with Wellington Castillo with a double in the left field corner off of Garcia. Little change up there from Maness. Castillo, 2-hit night and a run scored earlier in this inning. Single to right, the double in the corner, and also grounded out to short. In the air, right center, and that ball will get down. 1 run is in. The wave in, Tomas. He will score. 2 runners brought to the plate. And Arizona has busted this wide open. 3-hit night for Wellington Castillo.
I can't think of last year where the Cardinals have come in and the bullpen has given up so many hard hit balls. Forget the hits, but just the hard hit balls. You think of the home run by Segura. Tomas is ringing double to right center, and now Castillo. Drury, hard hit ball to left field.
And the confidence right now for Seth Maness.
Yeah. That's the key, I think, Dan. And also, you think of an important play was the single to left field by Zach Greinke.
Huge.
Big.
Peralta with 2 hits tonight. There's your ground ball. Wong has to back up and commits an error. The 18th error on the infield of the St. Louis Cardinals.
Why should that matter on the infield? Because your infield is where you get double plays and you get ground balls and you get outs that should be outs. Not that all errors are not in that same category, but the middle infield is so vital to any team if you want to contend and if you want to make your pitching staff that much better.
4th error on Colton Wong this year, 20th by the Cardinals this season. Well, you look back at this great run that the Cardinals have had, and it all starts with the man behind the plate in many ways, Molina.
Yes, right.
But for years it was Jim Edmonds. John Jay was a solid defender in center field.
Prior to Yadier Molina, pardon me, Mike Matheny behind the plate.
10-5, 14 hits by Arizona in this game. Owings has a pair of RBIs. Zach Greinke is on deck, and Tim talked about it. Real key play in this inning and in this game. 2 runners on. Cardinals at that point with the lead. And Greinke tried to bunt twice, couldn't get it down, and with 2 strikes, Carpenter way in on the grass at third base, and Zach was able to pull it right by him, and that opened up the floodgates. Two and 2 the count. Out to left and a base hit. Three RBIs for Owens. Well, there's been 4 pitchers used for the Cardinals here in the 6th inning. The way things are going, you may see a 5th.
Yeah. This is a changeup you could see when that ring finger is involved. Change up, left up.
Here's Zach Greinke and a strike. You know, Bowman would be one of the guys you'd consider as a long man. The other one would be Tyler Lyons. And you may have to go to Tyler to finish off the next 2 innings.
I mean, Greinke's staring down at third. What's Matt Williams going to do? Flash a bunt sign with 1 out in first and second?
It's now 13 hits in 6 1/3 for Seth Maness.
Here, now, what's Matt Williams, the third base coach, going to do? Flash a bunt sign? Come on, Zach.
Can't disagree with that. So he chops that off the plate to Matt Williams. Lets it roll foul. Nobody throwing right now, so this is up to Maness to at least get the final 2 outs here in the 6th. Opponents came in hitting .385 against Seth Maness. So he's still trying to figure things out. It's early.
Adding, and we've said it several times, this has been a rough game, period.
.21 pitches right now for Seth Maness. 1 ball, 2 strikes on Zach Greinke. Back to Maness. Out at second and dropped. What should be a double play. The out will be made at second base, and Wong is fighting it right now. Wow.
Well, the ground ball error. He will not be given an error on this attempted transfer. This has been the ugliest Cardinal inning that I have seen since I've been an analyst, and that's been about 2 1/4 years. Can you think of one the last couple of years?
No. You know, Maness should be out of the inning. Maybe twice.
Right.
Ahmed with a fly ball into right. And the inning comes to a close. The key play, Zach Greinke with 2 strikes. His first time up. Then Gene Segura, this blast. His 4th of the season, a 3-run homer. 11-5 Arizona. Cardinals hit a home run. The Gateway Honda dealers donate $1,000 to the Make-A-Wish Foundation. Speaking of home runs, 2 more tonight for Albert Pujols. So not 1, but 2 as he's closing in on Rafael Palmeiro. And then after that, Harmon Killebrew. Albert Pujols, 565 home runs. Well, Zach Greinke, they kept him in to hit. Now they keep him in to pitch. Why not?
Well, I don't know about that.
First pitch is popped up. Foul territory, and Ahmed makes the catch.
I think it might be one of those rare situations where you let a pitcher hit because of his prowess as a hitter.
You think so?
And then take him out. I don't know. He's going to try to get 3 more outs. I mean, they're going to take him out after 7, you would think.
Yeah.
And we talked about how tough a ball game it is. Been tough for Greinke. I mean, it's hard to believe the Cardinals have been up 5-2 in this game. 2-0, then 5-2.
It's been a tough start to the year for Kolten Wong.
Yes, it really has.
In particular, defensively. And Colton still looking for that first extra base hit of the season.
Yeah.
Comes in hitting .208. He's the kind of player, Tim, and we've talked about it, that he wears it. You know, if a bad play is made or a bad at bat, sometimes it's taken to the field. Bad play in the field, taken to the plate. It's such a hard game and so long. And you know, trying to convince a guy that has done it this way his entire life is very, very tough to do. But it's something you're going to have to learn, I would assume. 3-0 the count on Kolten Wong. Swinging on 3-0 and pops it foul behind home plate.
You know, John Madden said something once about a not a wide receiver, but a defensive back. He was beaten so badly, and the throw was made behind the defensive back. I mean, like 20 yards. And he clearly blew the play.
And Wong strikes out for out number 2.
And I'll never forget what Madden said. And I was, a lot of us were admirers of John Madden for his humor and his expertise. He said it's his job to forget, and it's your job to forget today when today should be forgotten. and to remember today if it's to be treasured. It's hard to do, but this is a game that is relentlessly cruel in the fact that you have to play the next day, and nobody cares. It's grueling, it's tough, it's mean, it's rugged. We've used that word about 5 times, I have, to the point of overuse, I might add. But you know what I mean? You just got to forget what's happening and go out, and I've heard golfers say before, you know, remember why you are playing this game. And it's hard to do, but you better do it or you're not going to survive.
Could you do it as a player?
It's hard. I fortunately played the proper position to be able to do it. I was a catcher, and I was immediately thrown back into defense where I had to handle a pitching staff. So by its very nature, I wasn't able to do that. I had to go back on defense.
Yes.
And think about putting fingers down. You don't have a chance if you're Yadier Molina to go out there and think about what you're doing wrong with your hitting and everything. You're immediately thrown back on defense.
It's a great point.
Yeah.
And if you're Colton Wong, you're sitting there waiting for that next ground ball.
Yeah.
And it may come later in the game. It may come tomorrow.
Yeah. And it's there in your mind. And that's why some players have to have professional help with guys where they can talk these things out. It's kind of a new thing in the game the last couple of decades, but I think it served its purpose more than once. And who better than Zach Greinke?
Right.
To
went through some of that. Carpenter jumps on this pitch out to deep right field, and it is gone. It's a home run for Matt Carpenter. His second hit tonight and his third home run of the season. And Matt Carpenter just helped the Gateway Honda dealers donate $1,000 to the Make-A-Wish Foundation.
That's something Zach Greinke is probably thinking. Normally, I get outs with that pitch. That was a tough pitch to hit. But I mean, Carpenter really turned on it. So this ball's up and in. You get a lot of guys like that. He cleared the hands in a hurry. Home run distance.
Go back to what we started saying, though, at this ballpark. The ball jumps here.
In that area, especially, as you pointed out at the beginning of the game.
Even the balls that, and I think it's interesting to watch some of the routes being taken by, in particular, the Cardinal outfielders. They're in a little bit, and those balls carry maybe a foot or two than they expect.
Yeah. First time Cardinals have played indoors this year.
Nice play at third by Drury. And Piscotty has an infield hit. His second infield hit of the night.
Boy, that was a big league pick. That Drury actually went behind him to field this ground ball. That ball was in the outfield. Good play, but an infield hit.
Left-hander begins to throw in the bullpen for Arizona. Pitching coach, first year, Mike Butcher.
Used to be with Mike Scioscia's crew in Los Angeles. This is why I was saying Greinke. I just don't understand why he's out there. Now I know the bullpen for the Diamondbacks gave up 10 runs to Pittsburgh yesterday, but you got to have somebody you're going to have to trust to get through to the 9th inning.
I just wonder if part of the thought process for Chip Hale is this: they threw the most innings out of their pen a year ago.
True.
And if you can, and they've thrown the most this year. Now a lot of that was due to what they did yesterday. But if you add up, you know, if I can buy an inning here or there and it adds up over 6 months, maybe it saves a little wear and tear in my bullpen. I'm just thinking maybe what the mindset is here.
Sure. used eight relievers in yesterday's game in 13 innings. Won by the Pirates 12-10. Talking about rugged 2 days.
Oh.
I mean,
here's a 1-0. Hazelbaker rips it into right center field. Piscotty from first. He will score. Hazelbaker flying around second base with an RBI triple. Well, it starts to get interesting again.
yes, it does.
And Jeremy's 2 for 2 tonight with a home run, a 3-run shot, or rather 2-run homer back in the 5th. And now this RBI triple.
I mean, here's the ace of your staff as Hazelbaker drives in the 7th Cardinal run. And he's leaving on a bad note and not a good note. And for that reason, in my opinion, he didn't belong out there in this inning.
So they will go to their bullpen. The Cardinals have Brandon Moss due up. The Chevy called to the pen.
Tickets right from your mobile phone. Check in.
The left-hander that's in for the Diamondbacks, his 11th appearance here the first month of the season, and Brandon Moss will be the hitter. Runner at third is Jeremy Hazelbaker. You know, Tim, instead of going out on that high note that you talk about, Greinke 6 2/3, 10 hits, only struck out 2. And potentially it could be 8 runs allowed.
Yeah.
All depends on what Moss does here. Brandon, a ground ball, picked up an RBI in the first, flied out to right, and also grounded out to short. For Hazelbaker, that was his 2nd triple.
3 triples in this game by the Cardinals, a couple of home runs. Normally, with 3 triples and 2 home runs, you win the game. Under the best of circumstances, I understand, but the bullpen, for the first time all year, has not been good tonight.
Hazelbaker now with 16 hits this year. 10 of the 16 have gone for extra bases.
Wow.
Three and 1 on Moss. He could send a charge into one right here. Brandon is sitting on 4 home runs. And takes a ball, and it brings in Randal Grichuk.
Now what do you do if you're Chip Hale? You can't let the left-hander Chafin face Grichuk, I wouldn't think.
Thought the same thing, and then you look out there, no one has been throwing.
Oh. Castillo giving signs about if the runner runs. Now those are signs that need not be given. He's out there touching forearms and everything. That's what you're going to do if the runner runs. Well, the runner's not going to run, so don't give the signs.
2 outs and 2 on. A ball to Grichuk. Crowd a little bit restless now.
Yeah. If they knew what we knew seeing Grichuk play as we do, we know that any place in this park in fair territory he can hit it out of.
Good cut. 1 ball, 1 strike. Now he's hitting .077 against lefties, which does probably play into the decision here for Chafin to face Grichuk. But that's a small sample size here early in the season. And a fly ball lifted into right. Peralta near the line and puts it away. So the Cardinals strand 2. They've left 4 on. Time to stretch. It's 11-7.
All right, fans, it is time.
Seth Maness back out. You look at it a couple of different ways, Tim. You know, one, you're trying to save a bullpen, not an off day coming up for a while.
Sure.
You know, game 1 of the series. And then the other thing you think about is just, can we get him right? You know, start clean with this inning. Let's see what he does.
I think both are important. Whether it's to get him right or leave him out there to save the bullpen.
Lyons is throwing in the Cardinals' pen. Segura a triple away from the cycle. 1 ball, 1 strike. Two singles, first 2 times up. A double and then a 3-run homer. So he chops that foul. Last 5-hit game for the Arizona Diamondbacks was David Peralta. August 9th of last season against Cincinnati. Two. Your experience, Tim, how does a sinker baller get right? Is it grip? Is it being fatigued?
I don't know anything about grips, but get a grip. That's about all you can say.
That's part of it.
Well, I'm kind of kidding and kind of serious. I don't know anything. Honestly, I don't know anything. I know that this is a changeup grip coming up.
Now back, third baseman, Brandon Drury.
Finally gets Segura out of there.
Cardinals, by the way, make a change. They move Wong out of the game, and a new second baseman is in. You just wonder about the flu bug and how that's affected him. Here's Brandon Drury, who is 1 for 4 tonight. Hits that down the left field line. And a 1-out double here in inning number 7. His second hit. Brings in Goldschmidt, who's 0 for 2. You think when the Diamondbacks put up 11 runs, Goldschmidt has had a big part of it, but he's 0 for 2.
Yeah. A couple of walks mixed in. That changeup up. I know that the formula for sinker ballers is usually easier to correct, because if you wear them out and you get them tired, then normally their sinker will be down in the strike zone. They won't be too strong. So that much has been proven and certainly understandable. But you know, there's a saying in baseball, you got yourself in it, you got to get yourself out. And that basically is the way it is.
2 balls and 1 strike. Cardinals have Tejada at short. Diaz shifting from short to second base. Wong out of the game. That's to the backstop. And a wild pitch charged to Manus. 3-1 the count.
That's a pitch that Cardinal fans did not see almost all of last year. That ball up and into a right-handed batter with consistency. That has happened to Seth so far this year.
And it's a walk. Third walk for Goldschmidt.
Left fielder, Yasmani Tomas.
First walk issued by Manus, and it brings in Tomas. 2 doubles tonight, 3 runs scored, an RBI to go along with a walk. Double play ball. Tejada, Diaz, and the turn. 6-4-3.
And tonight's attendance is
Sports Midwest is brought to you by Budweiser. This Bud's for you. And by Steel Outdoor Power Equipment. Quality, reliability, and value. Find a servicing Steel dealer at steeldealers.com or search STIHL. Second inning of work for Chapin. Yadier Molina will lead it off. Eric Fryer has moved to the on-deck circle. We'll see Aledmys Diaz. Molina tonight is 1 for 3. Came in 9th in the league in hitting at .338. First pitch taken for a ball. We're underway here in the top of the 8th. Combined 18 runs in this game in what has been a sloppy game.
Yeah, and with the Cardinals, you're so used to seeing crisply played games because their pitching is always strike one, strike two. I say always, certainly from the bullpen this year.
We started our telecast saying that this would be the premier matchup for both teams and maybe one of the best pairings. That's hit into right. Peralta, great catch in right field. Takes a hit away from Yadier Molina.
Had a great jump on that ball. Tough play for a left-handed thrower because you're going to go across your body to make the slide. Good play by David Peralta.
We started in our open, Tim, talking about, well, here it is. Garcia 5-0 against the Diamondbacks. Zach Greinke, the big free agent signing, and trying to get things on track and coming off a good start against San Francisco. And
yeah,
Garcia ran out of gas, and so did Zach Greinke. Here's Eric Fryer, looks at a strike.
Yadier Molina having all sorts of problems with even strikes thrown by Garcia's ball, moving all over the place tonight. A couple of pass balls, some wild pitches.
How about Eric Fryer? He's 6 for 7 to start the year. One ball, one strike. Breaks his bat to Goldschmidt. 2 down.
Second baseman, Aledmys Diaz.
Ho hum, another 2-hit night for Aledmys Diaz. Infield hit back in the 2nd and singled up the middle back in the 5th. On a hop hit to short. And a 1-2-3 for Chafin. Bottom of the 8th rolls in when we come back. Presented by the authority of the Cardinals and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form. And the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the St. Louis Cardinals. 11-7, Arizona leading St. Louis along with Tim McCarver. I'm Dan McLaughlin. Jim Hayes is also here. We'll take you inside the Cardinals clubhouse after our final out. There are the numbers on Tyler Lyons. Here's Wellington Castillo. And the first pitch taken for a ball. Two and 0. Castillo 3 for 4 tonight. 2 RBIs back in the 6th inning. 2 runs scored.
Hey, you will not see a team hit too many balls harder than the Diamondbacks have hit balls tonight. Cardinals too, for that matter. 3 triples and 2 home runs for St. Louis.
Daniel Hudson throwing in the Arizona bullpen. And a fly ball that's lifted out to left center field. There's Grichuk for the first out. Jaime Garcia made the start, went 5+, 4 runs on 8 hits. Then Bowman, Segrist, a frustrating night for Seth Maness, and now Tyler Lyons. Here's David Peralta. He's been on base 3 times, 2 runs scored.
That very relaxed way of holding the bat on his shoulder, and then as the pitcher is in his windup, taking the bat off there, a very relaxed swing, but violent through the strike zone.
Tejada gloves, makes the play. 2 outs. Reminder, tomorrow is on FS1. And then Tim and I will be back with you on Wednesday night. Here's Chris Owings with 2 outs and nobody on. Lined off the glove of Brandon Moss and into right field.
I think it went through his glove. I think it went through the webbing, the way he's acting. Sometimes that webbing, no, I was wrong. But he was checking that webbing saying, wait a minute, how'd that ball get through? He's still checking that webbing. Base hit for Chris Owings. Had a good night.
Been 7 days since we last saw Tyler Lyons. 2-out base hit for Owings, and Ricky Weeks Jr., longtime Milwaukee Brewer. Out to center field. Grichuk going back. It's over his head and off the wall. It's a key run because now it's a 5-run lead.
Right. That takes away the one swing with the bases loaded that could tie it for the Cardinals.
That ball was smoked.
There have been an awful lot of hard hit balls tonight. Owings off with the crack of the bat with 2 outs, scores easily. Boy, he can fly.
Nick Ahmed, shortstop, digs in and looks at a curveball for a strike. 0 for 4 tonight. Every spot in this lineup, with the exception of Goldschmidt and Ahmed, has had a base hit. Ahmed is the only one that has not been on base. Goldschmidt walked 3 times. Tell you what, Tim, at this ballpark, the Diamondbacks are going to outslug some teams.
Oh, yeah. They can hammer. Good play by Yachty. Man, he has had a uncomfortable evening behind the plate. I was going to say rough again, but I'm
rugged.
Sick of it.
Sick of it. The 2-1 pitch. Three and 1. Trying to extend this to Segura, who would have another crack at the cycle. He's on deck. Full count delivery to Nick Ahmed. Some drama left in this game. Gene Segura, triple away from the cycle.
More often than not, the triple is the one left out.
Yeah.
Needed.
Hardest one to get.
Yeah, needed for the cycle. Rarely do you have a guy hit a double, a triple, and a home run and need a single for the cycle.
This is the kind of ballpark, though, you could get it in. Here.
Right.
You
That's
know,
an excellent point because of all the quirky
yes.
corners and balls caromming where outfielders can't read the carom real well.
Some guys, you know, they need that funky bounce.
Yeah.
If they don't have speed, and a
Right.
guy like Segura,
Sure.
he's got the speed to do it.
Yeah, he does.
Here's the 0-2. Ground ball that's hit to second. Aledmys Diaz makes the play. We head to the 9th. 12-7 Diamondbacks.
For St. Louis, shortstop, Ruben Tejada.
Well, we know the fans back home in St. Louis having a little fun thanks to the Blues. This has been a tough night for the Cardinals. Enrique Borgas, that's how you pronounce his name. And he takes over here in the ninth, and he'll face Ruben Tejada. And the first pitch to Tejada is taken for a ball. 5-run lead for Arizona. "29 hits combined, 19 runs. 14 have been left stranded.
Borgas with one of the best arms in the Diamondbacks bullpen. Control and getting the ball down has been the major problem.
Tejada took over at short. Diaz then shifted to second base. He took over for Colton Wong. There's a tight breaking ball in for a strike.
It's funny how here you've got a 5-run ball game and he throws a 2-0 slider. Some pitchers feel more comfortable throwing the slider for a strike than a fastball.
And this might be one of those cases.
Maybe.
You talk to the Diamondbacks. They love this guy's arm.
Oh, you got to. So he misses with 2 fastballs and throws 2 sliders to even the count.
Two balls and 2 strikes. This has a feel of a spring training game.
It does.
Atmosphere is really laid back, very sloppy.
In the desert.
In the desert.
A lot of teams train in this area.
And a strikeout of Tejada. Plaza Tire Service with this replay, and pitch up in the zone and swung on and missed by Tejada. Cardinals get a couple of new teams down in the Jupiter area next year. That'll make it a little bit easier. Every other day it seems like they're playing the Marlins.
Atlanta Braves is one.
Houston will be coming that way. Washington.
Right. Yeah.
Carpenter is homered tonight. It was back in the 7th. And he also singled to right field. Yeah, you talk to the guys and those that are involved with the teams that train out here, and they love it because the furthest bus ride is about 45 minutes.
Close commutes, right. You have to go across the state to play other teams, as is often the case in Florida.
Here's a 1-1. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Just past midnight back home in St. Louis, and I know Pat Paris and Al Raboski are excited to bring you all the highlights of this one coming up on the postgame show. They don't miss a beat. Here's a 1-2 to Carpenter.
Ooh, that's a split finger fastball right there. Boy, that was nasty. Couple that with a 97-mile-an-hour fastball, and that splitter is devastating. Going straight down. Good pitch.
So he's hit 93, 94 on the gun. He showed us a slider, and now that split finger pitch. 2 outs, nobody on, and Piscotty swings through strike 1. There's Gene Segura. He's our Budweiser player of the game. 4 for 6, triple away from the cycle. Big 3-run homer. Piscotty with 2 hits tonight and a run scored. Picked up an RBI back in the 5th. The 1-1. And the Cardinals down to their final strike. There's Dave Stewart. Now the general manager here with Arizona.
Still see Dave, one of the pitching heroes for Tony La Russa in the 1990 World Series. He won 2 games, make that 89.
Well, this right-hander comes in and strikes out the side.
Cardinal fans familiar with that face.
Tony La Russa. Well, sloppy game here tonight.
Yep, tough game. Said it many, many times. Cardinals had a 5-2 lead in the 6th innings. But the Diamondbacks erupted for 9 runs. Gene Segura, terrific game tonight. Player of the game.
Cardinals drop to 10-9. The Diamondbacks are 11-10. The post-game show comes your way next. 12-7, our final here for game number 1.